Welcome back to Schofield Welding. We are in a shop. You guys don't know about the shop yet. So this is my dad's shop. We are completely gutting this thing out. From what you can see, it's totally different than what it was. All right, you might be able to hear the fireplace crackling, but hey, that's the ambience and the awesomeness of working in a wood burning shop. So anyways, it's kind of my motivator. Like, I love stuff like this. So 2020, let's talk about it. For a lot of us, for a lot of you, it sucked. It was not awesome. A lot of you guys are living in places with huge amounts of just restrictions and bullshit and all of it. But guys, 2020 still has a positive if you think about it, all right? 2020, for the people that were willing to do it and the people that were willing to just take the initiative and just say, all right, look, this is what we got to deal with. They have reinvented themselves. They have been able to do just as well, or they've started new things, and they are in a whole nother part of their life making something happen. All right, guys, 2020 was not fun for me. We were in the oil and gas. Everything was freaking going. We were getting a check every Friday. Everything was great. Everything was awesome. And boom, it hit in April, and we got laid off in April, which is something that if you are in oil and gas long enough, you're going to realize that, hey, that's coming. It doesn't matter. The layoff was no surprise. Let's just put it that way. The layoff had zero surprise to it. We knew it was coming, but the stress part about it is when there's no other work to go to in the industry that you are involved in. All right, that is pretty stressful. So what we did is we reinvented ourselves. For the people that refuse to lay down and give up and just say, take care of me, I don't have a job, blah, 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 you know, all the nonsense. For the people that refuse to give up and just keep trucking, just say, all right, look, what do I got? What kind of skill set do I have? What can I do? All right, so Austin Ross made a really awesome video. I watched that video. And it says, welders keep working, pipeliners go broke. Okay, and it's the freaking truth, all right? It is the truth. If you will just consider yourself a welder, you have a skill set, you have the ability to go do something. It doesn't matter what it is. If you can fit pipe, that's a whole nother deal. And too many people just look at the refineries and the pipelines and the flow lines and things like this to keep them busy, and when those things crash, and there's none of that there for you, because let's face it, there's only so much room for so many welders. And when everything is booming and skyrocketing, all these welders buy trucks, and they all freaking are ready to go to work, and then as soon as it crashes out, it kind of weeds a lot of people out, all right? But the problem is a lot of these guys that have been pipelining and oil and gas and all this stuff, they don't know how to reinvent themselves. The only thing they know is they need that $4,000 a check week. A $4,000 week check. Is that how you say that? Every week. Okay? And so when it's not there, and they can't reinvent themselves, and they don't know what to do, the bank is calling. 2015-16, that happened to me, okay? So I know what's happening. I know what's going on. The banks called me every freaking day wondering where their money was. And it was just something that you had to live with. Guys, I used to think that was the most stressful thing I've ever been through in my life. And what really happened is it actually built a stress level, I guess is one of the ways you can say it. I know I can handle that stress. If that happened to me today, and I have people calling me wanting their money, and I have people that I have payments I got to make and whatever else, I can handle that now. It is something I'm very grateful for. I can take care of the situation. All right, not saying it's fun. I'm not saying that even if I go through it today. Sorry guys, the camera, I've maxed out my memory card on the card, so I had to delete a bunch of stuff, so I can't really remember exactly where I was. But guys, basically what I am trying to say is 2020 was actually a really good freaking year for the guys that are willing to reinvent themselves, to be able to say, hey, look, we don't have this industry to go to. What are we gonna freaking do? I have a skill set. I can fit pipe. I can weld. I will figure out how to build whatever needs to be built. And for the guys that are willing to do that, work is unlimited. You can do anything, all right? The certain industry that you're involved in is gone, and I mean, don't get me wrong, guys. I mean, if we really went after it, we could find some oil and gas work, and there's work to be had, and blah, blah, blah. But there's a million people going after it. And it's just like a bunch of wolves or hyenas or whatever that used to have this whole herd that they used to chase all the time, and they just ate and everything was good and there's plenty, and now you got 5,000 wolves going after this lone calf. All right, there's not much there. But for the guy that's like, hey, look, I'm gonna go over the hill and go over this way, and yeah, it's gonna maybe suck, and it's not gonna be the funnest thing in the world, but I'm gonna get down into this area, and then it's just a whole new thing. Same concept with freaking working, all right? Just because you're not doing what you originally started with does not mean you can't make really good freaking money doing other things. One of the positives that comes out of this that I can see is with the starvation of everybody, it's going to wind up weeding out a lot of wannabe welders. Now guys, don't get me wrong, it's not what I want, but it is what's going to happen. There's going to be a lot of wannabe welders, and they're going to slowly start getting weeded out. And they're not going to want to be involved in the industry anymore because, hey, we took a freaking dip, and that was not fun, that was not cool. The stress got to them, they got away from it, all right? Not a bad thing for them. They will reinvent themselves, they will figure out something else to do. But for the rest of us, basically what 2020 is going to do for us, and this is what I see happening, is it's going to open up a lot of work for the welders that wound up sticking around, because welding is not something that just goes away. It's a kind of a feast or famine kind of deal if you're not willing to do other things to keep yourself fed. But as far as there being work in the future, things have to be welded. There are things that are going to need to be made. There are things that have got to be done. And if you will open your eyes and just say, okay, look, what can I specialize in that is not what I was doing, okay? Keep that in your back pocket, because there's always a chance, oil and gas will always come back. It's the lifeblood of us, it's what we do, but it might not be for 10 years. It might not be for 15 years. It could be tomorrow when it comes back, all right? Who freaking knows? But you're going to keep it in your back pocket, and we're going to go do something else. So guys, 2020 is kind of a good year, all right? If you look at things like that, you were able to reinvent yourself. You made something happen, whatever it takes. So what we wound up doing, we came home, all right? We could not stay out in Colorado. We had plenty of money, but the problem with Colorado and the problem with what we were doing is where we were at, it's just a massive amount of welders, okay? 1 million welders in an area, everybody needs to eat, everybody's trying to get a little bit of work, and that's what happens. They're willing to go contract for 40 bucks an hour, which really, if you do the math on it, you cannot make money doing that. As long as you're running a truck and you're providing all these consumables and you got to get fuel to get to where you're going, I mean, you might be pocketing 100 bucks a day. So what we did is we came home and we kind of sat around for a little bit and we were like, okay, we're not giving up. It's just not in our personality. We do not give up. It's just something that we do. All right? So we sat around and we were like, okay, what are we going to do? We started getting into other industries, all right? Right now, I'm doing a hospital. Me and Jed started a business back home. He's doing odds and ends. He's staying fed. All his bills are getting paid. All my bills are getting paid. And we just reinvented ourselves. You cannot rely on an industry, on one industry. You just can't. You cannot rely on one industry to keep you fed. If you have multiple avenues to where, okay, look, oil and gas quit. What are we doing? Let's go to the hospitals. Okay, hospitals, they're done building those. What are we doing? Let's go to schools. Okay, schools are done. Not a lot of welding in them. Let's go to farms, ranches. We are going everywhere. Okay, it does not matter what it is. We are welders. We are fitters. We can build it. It doesn't matter what it is. You got a set of prints? Even better. I can build it even faster. You want me to design it? I got engineers. Whatever you need, I'm your guy. I can get it done. Okay? Make sure that you have that personality, especially in times like this where nobody really knows what the next step is. Don't be in limbo. All right? Move forward. Keep going. Don't quit. One of the things that happens a lot is I have watched a lot of people, they rely on an election. And don't get me wrong, I'm in the same boat as everybody else wondering what the freak is going on. Let's get it taken care of and go on with life. But they do not determine my life. Alright? They do not determine my life. Yeah, they might be able to put legislation and blah, 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 all that stuff out there. But I do not give up. It is not going to matter to me what the freak is happening over here. I have a pop cam vision. This is what I'm doing. This is what I gotta do. This is how I'm gonna make it happen. I don't want anybody taking care of me. I don't want anybody giving me money. I don't care about the stimulus checks. I don't care about none of that. I am doing my thing. This is what I am doing. You gotta be focused like that. You have to sit down, realize what's freaking happening, and say, okay, what do I gotta do to make sure that I am taken care of, that my family is taken care of, that you guys are taken care of, all right? I don't put these videos out just to be like, hey, look at me, I'm doing great, everything's awesome. No, I struggle just like the rest of you. But I've been through some things that might help you guys avoid the pitfall and move you to where you need to be. That's the biggest goal of this YouTube channel. I want you to be successful. I want a group of people, a whole army of freaking people that say, look, my life is my life and I am going to take care of it. We're going to take responsibility for what's happening and we're going to go make something happen, all right? We're going to go to work. We're going to make our money. We're going to freaking better ourselves. That is what I want on this YouTube channel. So guys, 2020 has been a great year. Don't let anybody tell you different. We learned a lot of things. A lot of things that I wish never would have happened. But it is what it is. And it is up to you and your family or whoever your partner is or whatever to say, look, we're not giving up. Let's keep going. What do we need to do to get better? All right? I love y'all. I want you all to be successful. I want you guys to see that, look, there's a future. It might not be what you want to do. All right? Welding might be a little bit farther out for you now. Okay? You might have to go to work for $15 an hour. Do what it takes. When you get to that $15 an hour job, you make that job yours. You are going to be the freaking best at it. You're going to be the best. You're going to weld the best. You're going to be able to fit it faster than anybody else. You're going to move up in the company, whatever it takes. But when the next opportunity comes, don't be scared to leave that and go to the next opportunity. All right? But for right now, priorities. We're getting fed. We're covering our bills. We're not slackers. We freaking don't need anybody to take care of us. We are here to be productive, and we're going to kill it. All right? That's what we're doing. So, anyways, you guys, everybody be blessed. We love y'all. Have a great rest of your 2020 year. It's been a good year. It's going to be a greater year next year, and we're just going to kill it. It's just part of it. But, guys, have a goal for next year. You got to have goals. You got to have something that you want to get done, and it's going to be the big motivator for you for 2021, all right? Everybody be blessed. We love y'all. Have a great rest of your night. See ya.